Scars. I'll brush you up just like the dust upon my shoulder. I have a hunch of who you are. Believe it or not, I got the strength to blow you over. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. Hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way. Hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my way. I'm a hurricane, always on top of my game. I'm a hurricane, I'm trying to get in my way.
Oh, hi guys. Oh. Oh my lord, I have a really bad sore throat, so you're gonna have to excuse me. All of my favourite people are in one place. Would you look at that? Mr. Gaming. Why hello there, my adult thoughts. Why hello there. And Fash! And a small peach! A little bit louder, you say. I'm just getting warmed up, you know? It's getting comfy. I look like hell today. Okay, so full disclosure number one. This is what you're getting. Me in my granny glasses is what you are getting this evening. I feel good. I feel really, really good. Thanks for joining. I wasn't planning on doing a stream thing this evening. I was kind of toying with the idea for a little bit, and then I just decided, you know what, let's just do it. It has been a bit of a long day. Look. All right, Rob. So, oh yeah. Well, just a little cheeky sneak preview of that. So I'm actually my old camera is just going to become my full-time kind of webcam for now, and then this one will become my my main content camera. So For those of you that don't know Rob, I'm gonna link him in my IG afterwards, but he's like old I'd say old friend. How long have we known each other? A few years? Feels like longer. He's my brother from another mother. He's really, really cool, and he's just gotten into photography recently himself, so good stuff to come in. So today I'm gonna have to change up the angles a little bit, right? But this is my new baby. So they call it the this is the baby version of the X-T30 basically. So the X-T30 is their like, you know, their top of the line camera, and this basically is a more compact version of that. I have quite large hands anyway, so it's a bit difficult to do like a proper size comparison. But the camera's it is fairly small actually in terms of body, but it's got the new trans CMOS sensor in it. Beautiful pixels. Fujifilm are renowned for just having great color, you know, across all their sensors. And for the past couple of years, I've been loving them. So I used to be like solely Nikon, and Nikon was all I used for the longest time. And then 2 years ago, I got to use the Fujifilm X-Pro2, and it was incredible. Like really, really good. So since then, I've pretty much just been Fujifilm the whole way. So I've tried the X Pro. I also tried the X-T30, and the X-A5 then became my sort of daily driver. So I essentially kind of fell in love with Fujifilm. They just make incredible stuff at a fraction of the cost of other manufacturers that are out there. So it seems a bit, you know, it would be stupid not to use them. If you're working on a smaller budget, you don't want to fork out like major bucks for some of the other stuff. Fuji is just such a good, you know, such a good entry point. Their stuff doesn't break the bank. They have incredible quality. And honestly, like the first time I used a body like this, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. You know, I'm used to a Nikon camera that has like a, you know, big old battery on the side, and that's where the grip is. You know, when you first move to Fuji and you don't have that large body, it's like it is very weird, especially if you've got larger hands. You know, straight up, it is a bit of a change, but this has got some really nice features that I wasn't expecting. There's like a little macro button here on the back that's actually raised, so it gives me something to like poise my hand onto. And then it's just got all of the stuff from Fuji that you know and love, so all the mechanical dials and stuff. I am pumped. So the plan tonight, as much as I'm probably going to geek out over the camera a little bit and, you know, and whatnot, I'm actually going to put it through its paces and try and do some normal toy photography stuff, which is what I would normally do. Just to see what it's like, test the quality. So I'm just going to kind of bust out a load of my stuff and put that on the desk, and we'll just try and shoot some stuff essentially in my normal fashion. It gives you guys the opportunity to ask me some questions, and for me to show you a bit more of the behind the scenes of what I do, and how I achieve the kind of shots that I do. That's the plan. Something like that. Excuse me. I know this is a bit weird as well because it's like a Thursday night, and it's, you know, it's like 9 o'clock here in the UK or whatever, so it's a bit of a weird stream time. But the plan was just to come on, kind of do an hour, test the camera out, see what my first impressions are like. I did an unboxing video of it earlier. That will go live later. It's literally just a quick little POV of me opening it up and showing you guys what's inside. Thursday is the new Friday, which reminds me, is it Thursday? It is Thursday, which means I'm working tomorrow. I just realised Thursday is the new Friday because Darren doesn't work Fridays. So that means it's my weekend, which is even better news. Thanks for reminding me. By the way, can I just say, you know, all I'm saying is right is that Rob, for those of you that don't know Rob, right, Rob is a very photogenic motherfucker, and I'm just saying, right, I've got a spare chair through here. I got a load of these bad boys. So whenever you want to come over and you want to stream some Madden with me, you just holler at your boy, okay? Right then, we're gonna bust out the bag of tricks. Is what we're gonna do. So that's the zoom button. We don't want that. So I have been collecting for a while. Oh, mister, I'm sorry, but you'll be streaming. So Fridays is always a good day because you can finish the day and get in and start some streaming. That makes me happy. Mr. Streams on a Friday night is some of my favorite things. Ooh, baby, baby, baby. Oh. So I'm gonna because it's Mr. I'm gonna give you first shout at what figure we photograph first, okay? So we have Keanu, as you would expect. By the way, that little advert today with Keanu in it, pretty cool. Okay, we'll give him that. That was pretty cool. We have my latest Kratos figure. So we have, I think this is a bootleg. I bought him online off eBay. There was not really many listings in terms of like what he was or where he came from, but he does look kind of cool. He has got the axe with him. His armor is pretty cool and whatnot. He has got obviously the little Omega symbol there on the back as well, so you can hook it up. He's pretty cool. I do think he's a fake. We've got OG Kratos here in the Ares armor. Very, very cool. What else have we got? I mean, I might as well just bust out all the God of War ones at this point. We have another Kratos here, again, early on. I think this is this is the first God of War, I believe, OG. And then I have this one. Honestly, Mister, I've got so many Kratos figures, it's unreal. We have this one as well. I've no idea where my focus point is. It's here apparently, because I'm on manual focus on this camera currently. One of the reasons for the swap, just while we're getting into it, is oh, by the way, Mister, just a small peach. She played and completed God of War for the first time on the weekend. He just needs a bigger beard. Correct. Which is why we have... Where is he? In here somewhere. Yes, Small Peach played and completed that for the first time the other day. Really enjoyed it. Good lady. What I was saying was one of the reasons why I'm swapping from this camera is because of this. So this camera has a face track ability, which will basically just keep me in focus as I move. But as you can see, it will put up a little green box around me every time it does that. So the camera has clean HDMI, but only in certain circumstances, which is why I run this camera in manual focus to alleviate that issue, whereas the new camera does that natively. I don't have to deal with this weird keeping the camera on manual focus or using my Yes, true. For stream, I typically use manual, but when I'm trying to show things off, it's just a pain in the ass, obviously. You know. Yeah. But, you know, to show you this in all of its glory, a little bit difficult. Without me like racking the focus and shit. So we have Atreus, as you would expect, and then we have all of kind of like my extra shit, like all of it. Yeah, look at this. He is next to my face. Ow! How close do you want him? Ow! We have here. You get bonus points for knowing who this is, by the way. This here is worth 10 points for Gryffindor. 10 points for Gryffindor if you can tell me who this is. I'll wait. Hold on, let me just... There you go. Let me just hold him there. Yeah. You see that? 10 points. It is a Sith. Sometimes. He is a Sith. Depends on where in a storyline you would like to take a stab at, mister. Because he has two lightsabers. One's a naughty color, one's a good color. Yeah, now we're talking. He is he's introduced in a very old Star Wars game. If you ever played Knights of the Old Republic, which if you haven't, by the way, incredible games. This is Darth Revan. He is my favorite Star Wars character. So when I saw they had a black figure of him, it was like, you know, no contest. We have Stormtrooper. We have got a kind of like a little Freya figure. We've got obviously my Conans. Mister, you're just gonna have to tell me now. Who do you want? Do you want one of these? Do you want obviously we've got him. We've got my Halloween figure. We've got the old Michael Myers. What else we got? We have Predator. We have... Who else we got? We have got the Taisho Bandai version of Darth Maul, which is like a samurai kind of one. And then we also have a Taisho Bandai. This is the Darth Vader version as well. So these are really cool. They're like, you know, as you would expect. Oh, I've also got a really weird looking... I'll show you. But it is immensely weird. We have a very, very weird looking John Wick. Really, really weird one. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure he's a bootleg because the quality is shit. So, yeah, honestly, it's the worst. It's the worst looking John Wick you've ever seen in your life. Honestly, like the quality is just shocking. I bought it online and it arrived and I immediately was like, yeah, this is fake. You know, like you've got like the premium toy stuff and then you've got like all the fakes. This one is 100% a fake. Like, no question. I can shoot Big Beard Kratos. We can do a Big Beard Kratos. I also have Jesus. Oh, hold on, we need to move her. I've got a big titty anime figure in the background. I can't be having that on my YouTube videos, can I? Let me just move her out the way. She's not normally on display, boys, but that will get me into trouble. That will. We also have Soldier, Lord Saladin, Doom, the guy from Watch Dogs. My latest... Oh, I didn't show you guys my latest thing. If anyone here knows the Total War series, their strategy games on the PC. Look at this. So this is one of my latest bad boys. It's all made in that kind of like old, you know, kind of clay look. Very, very cool. Anyway, so I think the consensus is Kratos. So Kratos is what we're gonna do. So let's put these in there. We'll have let's have those. Put him in there and do this. Yeah, it's very, very similar to Dynasty Warriors actually, because it's based on the same time period. So, Kratos it is. Let's do. Bear with me. So we'll use like the custom base that I did as well, so that way I can show that off. Not this one. So there's a few things here. I normally shoot all my stuff either here at the PC, especially if I'm doing figure stuff, or I will shoot them outside of natural light. Hey, all right there, Red. Just because you can work magic with literally just, you know, with just a monitor and that's it. You know, you don't need any fancy stuff, to be honest with you, and I'm going to show you the entire process of this in about 10 minutes. I swear, you're going to be amazed. So first, what I need to do is drag you over here and have you there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring you guys over here. Hopefully the glare won't be too bad, hopefully. So here is the plan, okay? Now, yeah, I know. Look, I occasionally I need to see what my face looks like, so I trimmed the beard. Okay, it normally happens once or twice a year. I was having a crisis, so we got rid of it. Let's go. Let's just turn this up a smidge. Move that out of the way. Let's go here. Okay. All you need literally to get the same effect as what I get is to shoot on a low f-stop on a camera, or if you're using a phone, just literally put it on portrait mode. Okay, so portrait mode and you're like good to go. So you don't need a you know, like a big fancy camera for this at all. What we are going to use is a box. This is going to be the like jankiest thing you've ever seen, but I promise it works. So I have a box just of a pot figure that I'm going to put right there on the table. This base, as it is, took me not very long to make. The base itself is just made of polystyrene, so I have a new PC. Probably can't show you because my thing is too close, but right there is my new PC, or at least my new PC case, and inside that case was obviously like the whole box is encased in polystyrene. So I took the polystyrene, like tore chunks off of it, glued it to a tiny little wooden base, and then literally just painted it. So like this is nothing special, but shot up close, you know, you're shooting from here anyway, so you're shooting it from a low angle. You can hide a lot of crimes. Now my monitors are on arms, so what you can do is bring this down so your background basically is touching your monitor. Now before I got the monitor arm, I would literally just stack up boxes until they were at the same height as my monitor, and I would shoot like that. You can get away with it being back here. It doesn't have to be up against it. I just find it easier for me personally. This is something you can experiment with. And then for the rest, literally all you need is a figure of your choosing. And that's pretty much it. The only kind of magic as such that we're going to do here is we are going to I'm just going to drag my OBS over onto this window for 2 seconds. We are going to go here so I can show you guys the desktop view. Give me 2 seconds. Now, let's bring you over here, you here. So, the way that we're essentially going to get this effect to work is by finding an environment. So, most games have like concept art, and they will post online all of their kind of you know, like their test stuff, you know, their artist drawings, their renders and all of that sort of stuff, and you can find a whole load of them for different games. So all we need basically is something from God of War. This will literally do for now. That one does probably fit the background that we've got a little bit more. So let's just see if we can grab a copy of this. And essentially what we're going to do is just steal a copy of this image, which we are going to do now. I'm going to save a copy of this to the computer, like so. I'm going to save that. We're then going to, I know this is immensely high tech. Now the reason that I do this is because then I can obviously throw the background up on the computer and essentially just kind of mix everything together. So you know, we don't need anything major crazy, to be honest with you. So let's just throw him up on here, like so. Move you over here. There's going to be a lot of swapping windows, I'm afraid, for a few minutes, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. Bear with me a second. Cool. Now then. So the setup for this is actually going to be pretty simple. We don't need to go like, you know, anything mega. We're going to full screen it and just put you in slideshow mode, and we're just going to hit space. Now, annoyingly, because it's in slideshow mode, it will take up the full background like so, but it will fade in and out usually. So now what we can do The reason that I will go in and find an image like this is because, as you can see, like the background kind of fits, you know, kind of the or my base fits the background. So whichever way that we pose him in this scene, it will look like he's actually there. It's a really simple trick to getting quite good effects. So we're literally just going to find a kind of a decent place here to put him. I think I want him in about not quite like a 45, but he does want to be somewhere here. Maybe in this little divot. Very nice. I've also got the Brock and Sindri, two little figures over here. And we're just going to kind of place them in here, like so. Now, I kind of want both of these to look like they're part of the scene. So yeah, really cool characters. The two of them really cool. So I actually got a load of this, it's kind of, it's actually from like a model train kit. It's like fake moss, essentially. So we're not going to go too crazy with it, but I'm just going to make it look like the two figures have been there for a long time. And obviously not Kratos over in the process. Part of toy photography for anyone that is new to this in any way, shape, or form is you will absolutely knock your figures over about 15 times before you actually take a shot. And then to mask some of our crimes, because this is a bit of a jagged base, everything doesn't always fit on there perfectly. Now, if I wasn't being super lazy, I would bust out the tripod for this. In fact, I think I will. I'm waiting for the confession. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. Rob. Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. This is the wrong place to be admitting stuff like that. How have you not played God of War? How? Let's compensate for this a little bit, because I don't need the legs fully extended. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you have that, I suppose. So, I always shoot my stuff in this orientation. Always. So the max resolution that Instagram will allow is, I think it's 1050 by 1380, or it's 1080 by 1350. I think it's 1080 by 1350. So the reason that I shoot everything in portrait mode is because when you're looking at your phone, the picture will take up the entire screen, as opposed to just a little landscape shot like that. It is the very, very difference between your, you know, your picture taking up this much room on your phone and about this much room on your phone. So landscape shots look fantastic, but unless you are posting them somewhere where that makes sense, you're posting them online in another medium for another site, you're doing client work, whatever you're doing, it makes sense. I will agree with you every single time. If you are just taking pictures for Instagram, always shoot in this orientation. Always. So that is like this, not like this. Always. Always. That's like my one like tip for you guys, essentially. So there is it's not worth it, essentially. You know, like Instagram is kind of like this this thing, like, you know, it's like this big marketing thing recently. So you know, companies are starting to see value in it. People are, you know, that I know a few people that their job is basically Instagram. You know, they get stuff from Instagram and that's all they do. If you want to set yourself out from the crowd, you want to, you know, start doing stuff like this, which, to be honest with you, you could do this without the base. You would just put this figure on the box and you would move the box up and you would just shoot this against the background. You can just crop his feet out. You can get some really cool epic stuff, you know, literally just by having your figure here and you shoot like there, you know, and just use the background. You don't need to go all out and be like, oh, this guy's made a base and he's like, ignore all that, because you don't need to do that. I'm doing it because I wanted to, and I found like the creation process fun, but you don't have to do this at all. You can, toy photography is literally, you could use a phone, a figure, and throw him on the desk and put him in portrait mode, and I guarantee you'll get good results. Like, cameras these days are really, really good, but always shoot in portrait, not landscape. Always. Always. Yes. Yes, you do. And I will tell you this again when you arrive. Always shoot in this aspect ratio. Just because of the simple fact that it fills up the screen. Like, I wonder if I can show you the difference from like an old picture of mine. I've been shooting like this for a long time, so I'm not even too sure if I'm going to be able to find something that is in that aspect ratio, because I've been shooting like this for time. Oh, cool. So this is a video of me doing archery. As you can see, so this is a typical landscape shot. In this case, it's a video, and it takes up this much of my screen. So it comes middle of my power button, right? So that's where it comes to. If I take here my most recent shot on Instagram, that is where the old one come up to on the phone. That's where the new one comes up to. There's a big chunk of difference between where the previous one was, and obviously where this one comes to. So that's the reason why you shoot in portrait mode, is because you get the most out of Instagram. So if you are doing stuff for IG, just shoot in that aspect ratio. This is a reminder for me more than anything, because I will occasionally want to shoot in that other way, but I always remind myself that I'm posting my work on Instagram. I'm not posting my work on, it's not going anywhere else. Like, I have a Facebook thing, but I never use it. I've got a Twitter, but I don't really post my work there either. I think you should make your content for the platform that most people are going to see it on. So if you're doing like a, you know, like something for a client, sure, whatever they want, wedding shots, you know, kind of portrait stuff, you want to shoot someone's car, you want to do a product, whatever, like that doesn't matter so much. But if you're doing it for Instagram, just shoot like this. Okay. That aside, what I will do at some point of the future is I will
I'll hook this camera up as well via another link, so I can actually show you like the camera view, but not today, because this is just meant to be a little baby test out the new camera and see what we can do. It's honestly, if you're used to shooting in landscape, it will be very, very weird the first time you shoot portrait, because you will feel that you can't get as much into the frame. I promise you can. I promise you can. So yeah, if you are going to do stuff for, you know, for Instagram or anything like that, just try it. Just humor me and just try it. So we're gonna get a little bit practical in this. We're gonna use this as well. Cool. More lenses, I think, is more important than, like, you know, bigger and better cameras and all that sort of stuff, because it will allow you to do more types of photography. So a new lens is a very good move. I've got a ton of lenses now for Fujifilm, and each one does something very different. So coming from the guy that just upgraded his camera, but just ignore that for a second. Like, more lenses are more important because it enables you to do more stuff. So very, very good move on the super wide. The cool thing about this is it's got this little it's got a little focus button on the back, so you just kind of roll your thumb on it and it will adjust accordingly. I wish I could show you guys this properly. Might have to, if I can move it to the razor. I wonder. Just humour me for a second. Humour me for a second. I know, I'm an absolute professional. Oh yes, photo pornography. So let's go. Let's go here. Let's go here. Properties. Let's go here. Sweet. Let's see if we can get this a little bit closer. 2 seconds, me old mister. Oh yeah. It's going to be the jankiest setup you've ever seen, but hopefully I can use this to kind of give you guys a bit more of a... So this is what we are currently working with. Hello, focus yourself, do as you're told. So that's basically what the camera sees right now, which is this right here. So we're going to shoot like basically just over the top. So that is what we are, that's what we're looking at right now. It's all coming together. So there's a few things, right, that I will always do first. Is I will always take one clean photo. I'm gonna have to ditch the chair for 2 seconds. Going on? There we go. So, what we are going to do is, so I'm by no means a professional, Rob, by like any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to bestow upon you a few of my tips and tricks. The first thing we're going to do is take one clean picture of Kratos in the background. Okay, that clean picture should look a little bit like this. So, focus, do it. So it basically will look like this. So we've got one clean picture of him and the background. Hi, Tori. We have got then one clean image of him. Doesn't matter what happens now, because even if I mess up the practical effects, it doesn't matter because we have a clean picture that we can use. And worst case scenario, if anything like horrible happens, I will always have something to go back to. So the plan is we've got 2 types of effects that we can use. Effect number 1 is using this, which is basically just this is a spray duster, so you actually use it to like clean your electronics. When you hold this normally, it just shoots air out of it, so you just get like a burst of air out of this, but when you turn it upside down, you get like this compressed stuff out of it essentially, and that's what we're going to be using to create the kind of fog effect. So I'm going to shoot a couple of these, we're going to import it into Photoshop, we're just going to kind of see what the quality is like. I'm just going to have a little bit of a play with some of the settings here. I'm just going to roll that f-stop down as much as it will let me. So we're shooting right now on, oh hello, on a relatively low ISO. We're also shooting in 3x2. Let me just double check a couple of things. We want to be shooting in fine and normal and raw because apparently I didn't set that. In fact, what we are going to do, Mister, thanks for joining, my brother. I appreciate it's late over there where you are. So have a very good night, my friend. And I will no doubt speak to you tomorrow. And I will no doubt see you on stream as normal, my friend. Ooh, nice. Yeah, he's just Mr. Gaming on Instagram as well, Rob. Adelfos. Thank you very much, Kalispera. Kalispera. Have a good night. I'll catch you tomorrow, bro.
know. Greek. Yeah, I know. Next you'll have me in feta cheese on a watermelon. Nice. Very nice. So, these spray duster things are like cheap. They, like I say, they're normally used for like cleaning your, electronics. It's just a can of compressed air, but when you turn it upside down, they give you really, really cool effects for when you're doing photography and stuff. There is another brand that you can get that is called Atmosphere Aerosol. I think that's the official one, but to be honest with you, they're expensive and these are cheap, and they do a pretty good job. So nice. So I don't smoke, but I have a vape here that just has 0% nicotine in it, so it's just like water vapor essentially, and I use this as well for smoke effects because it just gives you really, really cool, tremendous effects. So no, I don't smoke, but yes, I use it for photography. I literally just hold a load of smoke in my mouth and then I'll just use it to blow over the figure itself, because it gives you this cool little misty effect that you can then go back and edit from. So that's what we're going to do. Just like that. Let's just do. I know, right? There might be hair on it, but it ain't a coconut, okay? See, you all thought I was stupid. Very nice. So, we're going to swap things around a little bit, and we will try we'll try another figure. We'll swap things around a little bit. It's always nice when because I'm busy. I say busy, I work 10-hour shifts, so I start work at 8 and finish at 6 every night, and for anyone that loves photography, that is a pain when you live in the UK because there's just no light. So if your only free time is at 6 o'clock at night and it's dark, that there's not a lot you can do about that, which is partly why I moved from shooting outside to indoors using this technique, because you can just shove whatever you want in front of the monitor and get a cool shot. In fact, I'm going to show you how you can get this exact same effect with this character. I'm just going to take away the background for a second just so I can show you guys. But you can do this literally with just a monitor. So I'm going to take him away. I'm going to shove him a bit on this. You don't need the crazy diorama stuff in order to make this work. All you need is to shoot a little bit closer on the figure against the background. I'm going to get that axe in the shot, so let's just bring it up over his head a little bit more. Stand up. Make him look like he's actually kind of looking down on us a little bit. That will help sell the effect. Come on. Come on, Kratos. Do as you're told. This is the time-consuming bit of any figure photography, is getting him. So you can download Lightroom on your phone. Lightroom on your phone is incredible because you can change all of the stuff that you normally can in Photoshop anyway. Okay, you can't do all like the crazy layer blending stuff, but yeah, Lightroom is incredible. And there's like Rob says, I use Snapseed. Snapseed is a Google editor, and it's really good, really good. Nice. So I'm going to show you that one as well in a little bit, just to prove that you don't need any crazy stuff in order to get this. But essentially, if you put your figure on any background whatsoever these days, and you shoot on the portrait mode on your camera, this is on your phone rather. Let's go here. So if you shoot on your portrait mode, you can get very good results. What you want to do is just crop in on him a little bit and just focus in, and you can get a really good picture of the figure anyway, although it's going to be blown out at the minute, but you can get a really good version of the picture without using without using a DSLR essentially, so you don't have to do the whole thing to get a really cool figure shot. I will show you the Photoshop side of this in a little bit. Honestly, it's like so simple, so simple. So what we're going to do, let's bring our background back. Let's do you know what? It's Halloween after all. It's spooky season. Spooky season has started. So let's break out my boy Michael Myers. Let's bust him out. Let's get that out of the way. Right there for a minute. The one problem, right, with shooting toys is you will end up with stuff like this everywhere. Then you'll have presumably another box like this, yeah?
And this box will have all your little stuff in it. So here's a gun, here's an explosion, here's an axe for Kratos, there's a blade of chaos, there's another sword here from God of War. You'll end up collecting little hammers, Mimir's head. Let's see, a lightsaber. You'll end up collecting like all these little parts to like everything. Have I been to? No, I haven't, and it's a crying shame. I'm not happy, mate. Did you hear that Halloween's probably cancelled this year? And I'm not happy with that news, mate. So let's get you in there. Oh, and just Rob, I have to show you something, okay? I have to show you something. Let me just bring this over here. Just thought I point out that I've just got my bro over here just chilling. That's my that's an AC, right? Just with my boy hanging out on top. Okay, just thought I'd terrible behavior. He looks good, mate. Did you know that my boy Wilson's crushing it at the minute? Did you know? And he did you know that my boy's absolutely murdering people this season? Dropping like 50, 60-yard bombs on people. Yeah, well, when Breeze puts up numbers like Wilson, you come see me. He is murdering people this season. No, it's just nice after, like, what, 8 years? It's nice to see that they're finally just saying, like, just do your thing. You know, just, we're gonna stop. No, I mean, to be honest with you, mate, our line's still rubbish, that's why. But it's nice to see the coaches and stuff actually just trusting in Wilson now, you know, a little bit like, hey, just go out there and do your thing. Now, I don't know, you know what, this background has to go, boys. We are going to use let's yeah, some things will never be the same, will they, mate? Let's go here. See if this works. No. Don't cycle to that. Just do as you're told. Let's try. So, I think if you're going to shoot mines, it has to be like a street scene, you know? So we're going to go with this kind of look. I'm going to see if we can match up the lines in this to the background so it doesn't look like super weird when we when we like edit it together. So he is going to go right there.
some of that. So, I wonder if I can show you guys what this is exactly. So this is actually like a 3D print. It's got like this kind of like guttering down the side. This is a 3D print of a street. It's got like you know, kind of this this grate in it and stuff. And we're basically going to be shooting. We're going to shoot him as if he's like, you know, just peeking. He's just peeking a bit. This side is all. This is just 3D printed, essentially, then glued together, so it looks. It'll look a little bit like a street. Is the plan. We'll see how it goes. May have to. So we're just going to do like one. I reckon we'll do one more. Let's do this. And I think what we're actually going to do is bring that there. Bring this here. We'll try this one instead because I think this is a better image for it. And then we will finalize this one, and then I'll just whip the memory card out. We'll put it on the computer. We'll have a quick look. I might edit one or two of them if you guys want. Show you a little bit of my editing process, I suppose. Like so. And this one, what we're going to do is just drag you down a bit. So I'm using a slightly smaller image on this, but the bleed out from the side, this white and that white on that side will help illuminate the figure. So because we're shooting indoors and I don't have like the most light in here, what we're going to do is just see how much light we can like physically push on him, you know. It'll highlight him nicely, so we've got like a light coming on this side that is lighting him. I've actually got the light from the other webcam that is kind of just giving him a little bit of a cast on that side as well, so when we shoot the shot he should be evenly lit but still look Myers-like spooky. Sometimes, just really occasionally, I make it seem as if I know what I'm doing, you know? Just occasionally. It's not very often. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to underexpose him on the camera just a little bit. And the reason that we're doing that is because he has got a lot of light on him, so we don't want him to be completely blown out. And if you are at all interested, which you're probably not, but we're currently shooting f5, so I can get a little bit of the side detail of the building as we go up to him. So we're shooting at f5. We're shooting a shutter of 60 right now, and we've underexposed him by a full stop. Yeah, I used to do that, Rob. Back in the day, I used to include my. I used to include two versions of my shots. Always, I used to include the edited shot, and then I used to post an unedited shot with the camera stats on it. And I liked it. It was a nice touch for a little while, but I just found the edit sometimes was a bit of a pain. to be honest. Now, I'm going to want to be a little bit further back than usual. And I think it's only right that we give Myers something, you know? What is Myers without his trusty knife? So the cool thing with like this sort of stuff is like the toys that you shoot don't have to be like, you know, 30-40 bucks a piece. You can take pretty much like any and shoot them anywhere. Like for me, I try and think about like, why is the figure there? Because it's weird, but I treat these as if I'm shooting a portrait, you know, like a lot of the time I'll put the figure in a, you know, in a pose or whatever, but in my head I'm picturing like a film, or I'm picturing like a portrait shot, or I'm thinking of like how I would set up a real person to, you know, to kind of look, because I like to try and, you know, bring them to life as much as possible. But that's why some figures make more sense, you know, like if you're shooting Toy Story figures, or, you know, kind of like other childlike figures, you can get away with having them around the house. You can get away with like getting your dog involved and putting your Buzz Lightyear next to the dog, or, you know, having him next to household objects and stuff, whereas it doesn't make sense for him to be next to a household object so much, you know. Like there is always break the rule, always, you know, kind of shoot whatever you want to shoot wherever you want to shoot, because you'll find like really cool stuff. But for the most part, I like to suit the figure to a background, you know, and if that means like shooting him in the living room or whatever, then I will do that, and, you know, try and get good results out of it or whatever. But I think it makes sense to kind of shoot them in the environment that you would expect to see them in. So what I like to do these days is a behind the scenes shot. Behind the scenes shots are always good for Instagram, because when you shoot a shot like this, a lot of this detail goes away, you know, for like what it is that you set up, how it looks. People always enjoy a bit of a behind the scenes sort of thing. So if you are going to do this, do a behind the scenes thing, you know, just take an extra picture on your phone. It doesn't have to be good quality. It just kind of shows people the, you know, like a bit of the creative process behind it. People will like that. At least that's what my mother tells me. Final touch for this one is this. So, I wonder if you can see if I switch over to the razor. So you see the background of this actually has like some water in it. So, you know, as you kind of go up here, the background of the shot has water in it. So when I'm shooting from the front, I want that water to carry on essentially onto, you know, like my background or my base. So what I will do is not go mental, but this will give me, when I'm shooting, just a bit of a reflection, and it will give me less work in post, you know, because I don't have to go in and like edit something in afterwards. This is why I love practical photography, because you're getting the shot exactly how you want it. So I wonder if I can show you guys all about the little stupid details, but you'll see here when you look at the figure, that effect will then transfer through, because you're going to get a little bit of the, you see like the pink kind of glow from the background, it will flow through the floor. So yeah, it will flow through the floor, so that when you're shooting up here, you know, like everything is like, do you know what I mean? I'm an absolute idiot, but I kind of know what I'm doing when it comes to this stuff. Just kind of like not mega, definitely not mega, but like a little bit know what I'm doing. And we're gonna focus right in on his face. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Rob. It's all about trying to find something that gives me as little work as possible when I'm editing, because I'm trying to sell the illusion that this is not a toy, you know, that this is a portrait, this is something that you would see, you know, kind of like a cosplay, or the actor himself, or a scene from the film or whatever. One of the things that gives away that illusion is obviously you can kind of tell in the body of the figure, but you'll be immediately able to tell if the base that he is on doesn't match the background. So trying to find a way to blend those two together is fantastic, and that is also why this is a fantastic effect to use, because I will spray this down the back no sound because I hit the button on the microphone. Thank you. Yeah, so essentially I just blast a little bit of that between the base and the monitor, just to give it like some smoke effects between the two that will help mask that really harsh line. So let's just take one more like so. We're then going to do a tiny cleanup. I'm then going to import these over to the computer. We'll have a look at them together. We'll see what they look like. I might edit them, maybe, we'll see. But if you guys give me 2 seconds, we will do that now. This is why Instagram setup shots are so difficult for me. You know, like everyone always posts like pictures of their setup and stuff. well, you should see my setup has always got stuff around it, always, because I'm always shooting figures, I'm always shooting toys. There's a little thing under my desk right here. If you have a look at my photos, it's like full of stuff. It's like full of boxes and everything, and it's just because I'm constantly shooting figures, so they need to be like close at hand, because this is my workspace, you know. So I will never ever have like one of these super clean aesthetic rooms. It's just not going to happen at all, ever. So this is my my water catchment tool. The other thing as well is that like I take these guys because I take them like out their boxes because I want to photograph them. I want to do stupid stuff with them. I want to be able to like throw water and flour and roll them in the dirt and that sort of thing. Like I'm not a you know, like a pristine collector. I don't mind if a figure, you know, gets messed up and whatnot, because it's part of the fun for me. But I understand for some people this is blasphemy, obviously, like abusing figures like this. And for those people, I'm sorry. Cool. So after I smash up the place, apparently, let's take the memory card out of here. So huge. This is like this just off the cuff. Massive thanks to Kingston. So Kingston Technology got in touch with me on Instagram a couple weeks ago and asked if I would do like a sponsored posting with them. So they sent me over 2 of these super high speed SD cards, and they're incredible. I've got 2 of them. They're like 128 gig, and they read and write at like 300 megasecond or something, possibly a little bit more if I've not got my stuff completely messed up there. I know, we're a little bit close right now. Sorry, I need to get into this port. There we go. Get that in there. Yeah, they sent them over to me, and the cool thing about them is before, when I was doing figure stuff, especially, I would have to like take a picture and then wait while the camera saved it because it couldn't keep up. Whereas now I can shoot on burst mode, which is where you just like hold the button down on the shutter and it goes like fucking mental, and I can capture everything and save it to the card and like immediately. So it makes working with effects super easy. There we go. So let's pull you guys over here. Pull my Googles over here so I can see my chat. Now let's go over here. Cool. So this is where we are at. What we need is a little bit of change of tunes. In fact, no, this is nice and chill. So this was I suppose this is like the first ever shot with that camera. So immediately I'm able to push a lot more information into the picture than I was before with my old camera. You can see we can get really kind of up close on, you know, like his details and stuff, which is really cool. Before I was incapable of doing that. So let's go through and have a look at what we've got. So this is when we started introducing some of the practical effects to it and stuff. So this background here works really, really well. Like you can kind of just drop the highlights. You can see that the light from this is the webcam here on this side is kind of cast a bit of a harsh light on here. We can drag that down. We can get rid of the highlights on there. You can see a little bit of a glow on this side as well, but as you can see, like the background itself blends in really nicely, you know. You can't really tell, we know because we saw it, but you know, like you would be hard pushed to kind of tell exactly where this and the background finishes because of all these kind of jagged rocks help kind of break up the you know, your image from the background. There's a few really, really simple ways to get, yeah, that's what we're talking about. See, a little bit of water on here kind of leads up there. Now you can see the reason that we put the smoke on this one is because you can see there is a harsh line on this one. You can actually see the whole perspective changes because this is flat and then it goes like, you know, right angles up. So the reason that we will come in and then hit this with the effect is because then we can use a little bit of this kind of smoke and haze to mask that line, which is what we'll be doing in post. It just makes it so much easier to come in after the fact and do that. So let's go here for a moment. Let's come over here. I wasn't going to do this. The plan was just to test out some of the camera, but I'm excited now. So we're going to edit this one, okay, in my style, just a little bit. Shall we open a brand new one? Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's come here. So this is jigging apparently. So this is what you want. 1080 by 1350 is the most that Instagram will allow. It is the tallest picture it will allow. So that's what we're going to do. This here is what you want to shoot all of your stuff in. So if you're editing and you're going to use Photoshop, use this. Now I use as you can see here, Wolfskin Special Sauce is my current IG edit of choice. Just saying, that's the special sauce right there. Just ignore that. Just ignore that. You guys don't need to see that for a minute. It's like giving up my Krabby Patties, that is. Yes, Fash, this is the Itchy Beanie Life squad. Just letting you know. Okay, so. Nice. Now, the reason that we always come in and we take a clean version of everything is because you want one version of this picture that doesn't have any effects on it, okay? If all else fails, if everything else goes to pot and your effects do not work and the focus is you've messed something up about the shot, this is why I always take a clean version, always. So what we're going to do on this, we're just going to do some base editing to this. Now the top of the picture's blown out, so we're going to drop the highlights. We're going to drop the highlights as well to kind of get rid of some of that glow that's on the right hand side, in the snow behind him and on the right. Now I'm actually going to drop the highlights pretty much all the way down and crush them entirely on this one, because we're going to go in and hit some highlights and stuff later. I like to try and preserve some of the details that are in the shadows, and I'll always drag the shadows up a little bit. Not too much, just a smidge. But then what I will do to compensate for that is I will drag the blacks down. So what you get from that is you get a little bit of the detail that is lost in the shadow, and then you kind of just pull the blacks down to compensate for it. So we're getting a little bit more detail. And then in this particular case as well, we're going to drop the whites just a little bit. I'm going to pull him in.
He's not in the right aspect ratio yet. As you can see, we've still got bars left and right. We don't want to touch this image just yet. Then what we want to do is come in here, find one of the effect layers that we like. This is quite nice. I want something a little bit more, possibly this one. So let's drag this one in. We're gonna basically perform the same type of edit to this, but what's important in this is the effect, not the figure. We've already got the base for the figure, so what we want to do on this one is make the effect look good. And we're going to do that again by just coming down here, up in the shadows a little bit on here, bringing down the blacks just a little bit, and then I kind of want the smoke to be just a little bit highlighted, as you can see here, so we're just going to drag that up as well. Now these two are going to overlay on top of one another. The reason that we use a tripod, although I clearly nudged it in this case, is we're going to do that. The reason that we do that is when you switch off between the two, yes, there will be a smidgen of movement, but then what we can do is we can mask this layer like so, and then whatever we paint on here will bring away. In fact, hold on, what we're going to do actually, I'm going to slow down just a smidge because I'm in like Darren editing mode. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what we need to do here. What I've done, I dropped the opacity on the top layer. The reason that I did that is so we could line up the face. So I took his eyes as a reference and we just lined up the two layers, okay? The reason that we did that is because then we know that when we mask away this layer, we're not going to have any weird effects afterwards. Ignore the little bar on the left hand side that you can see right here, because we're going to punch in on this image in a minute and we're going to lose the outside anyway, so it's fine. When I normally do these shots, I actually take a remote shutter for the camera that plugs into the side portion here. There's two things you can do with a camera. Either you set a timer. This only really applies for cameras like this, because when you're shooting a picture, you pressing this button will introduce a certain amount of shake to your photo, because you're pressing a physical button. I'm pressing down on the camera, so no matter how gentle I am being, I'm still pressing a button on top of the camera, which can affect the tiniest of movements, which can result in either one, your photos being blurry, or two, them not lining up properly, even when you're using a tripod. So best thing to do is go on your camera and set either a 2-second timer, so that means that when you press the button it will count down 1, 2, then take the shot. That way you're not introducing any additional movement to the camera. Or you can use a remote shutter. I have a remote shutter which just plugs into the side here. It's a cable with a button on the end. You press the button to press this button instead. They are pretty much essential if you want to do any nighttime photography. So if you're thinking of doing landscape stuff, long exposure, you want to do time lapse, you want to take a picture of the stars, you want to do light painting, anything like that, you need the camera to be perfectly still, because any type of movement will be magnified when you get here. Rant over. So what you want to do onto this layer is you want to come over to here and you want to go layer mask. We're going to reveal all on this. In fact, we're going to go hide all, and I'll show you why. So what that does here on this particular layer, you can just see here, just above my camera, there's a little black box here now. Now with that black box selected, if you click on your brush tool and you come down here and select white instead of black, we're then going to just decrease the size and just
basically paint on top of this image. So wherever I then paint on here, it will bring in what is underneath. So in this particular case, that is whatever is on this image below. So you can kind of bring back some of that smoke here on this side. You can do the exact same again with the smoke. In my haste, I believe I did nudge the camera because I was an absolute idiot. So as you can see here, the figure moves slightly because Darren was entertaining rather than paying attention to what he was doing. But essentially, that's what we would do. So when you're doing this, you will just layer each new one of these on top of the old one. You'll just pile them up. You will use the mask tool to kind of delete away different layers and stuff, and you can just do this as many times as you want. So just one layer on the other, mask. Just make sure your main one is on the bottom, and then the next effect is on top essentially. We're then going to select both of these, and we're going to hold down Control and press T, which is transform. And then drag out from the corner. You'll see here I can't overstretch the image, it just scales that whole thing up and down. But if for whatever reason you did want to come in and just fine tune something, if you hold shift, you can just drag it, whichever way you wanted to. Obviously that looks horrible. What you will then do is come in here, resize your image to your background. I always try and shoot my figure stuff as if it was a person, so the kind of like normal rules of photos apply here, which is you want your figure to be, relatively center. You don't want too much headroom unless it's intentional. You kind of want something everywhere. Now, if this was me and I was going to post this image, which I'll probably do this again during the daylight and just on my own when I'm not talking shit, I'll bring in an effect over here as well so it like completely surrounds him. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing, let's have a look at the Myers one. Let's drag him in and have a look. The same again really. I was focused like laser pointed here on his head because I wanted this detail here to be showing. So this particular Myers figure has got like a head sculpt and then the mask on top, which is really, really cool because that means you can see the eye and stuff. I want that to show through. So we'll go through. I'm going to drop the highlights again because we want the neon from the shot to like look like it's gazing on his kind of bleeding onto his face a little bit, but we don't want it to be like too mental. And because it is Myers, I'm going to drag up the shadows because I want to be able to see some of those details. Like you can see the detail here around his neck is showing now as well. So we want to just kind of show a little bit of that, but then to make up for it we do have to crush the black just a little bit. Now, highlights wise, leaving about there. Now, I normally take a second copy of this layer. Everyone kind of works a little bit differently. There's no kind of right or wrong thing to this. Rob, my dude, have a good night. Thanks for joining me, man. Hit me up on the gram. We'll sort something out. You and me, Madam Stream. Just saying, you want to come around and do some shots, whatever you want. The door's always open for you. So what we're going to do here, I kind of just want to like see what details we can bring out of him. So at the minute I've got the midtones on. And I kind of want like one half of his mask here to be, you know, his eye is only showing on the one side, so it makes sense that kind of his mask on one side would be slightly more illuminated than the other. But then to make up for that, what we're going to do, I'm going to come over here and just choose black. I'm going to set our blending mode here to color, and that way I'm just going to take away some of that yellowness that's on the top of him. So by doing this, you can see we're kind of just desaturating one half of his mask just a little bit, nothing major. We want a little bit of the a little bit from the glow on this side to you know, as if it's coming from the shop sign. Just want to kind of kill some of that yellow tint that was in him just a little bit. Now in this particular case, we're actually going to punch him on him quite a lot. I don't want to lose too much of the detail of the floor, because I do kind of like the that effect, but I think sometimes you just need to make the decision to just proper punch in or leave it wide. I mean, we could leave it like this and you know, just kind of punch in a little bit so it was to frame, so it kind of kept some of that, you know, kind of the extra effect here. But to be honest with you, I just think the closer works best, so that's what we're going to go with. So one thing that I noticed, you know, with this over my old camera for sure, is I can punch like a lot further in on an image than I could before. I would usually lose you know, like a whole load of detail way before, you know, like before when I was trying to punch in an image, I would like lose a lot of detail. A lot of this kind of shadow detail would be completely gone. You would lose a whole bunch of that. Whereas this seems to be much better in like keeping those details and enabling me to kind of punch in and everything. So that's good. That's good. Anyway, that's it. So far, really impressed. I think I will probably spend a lot of my time tomorrow just kind of going through and tinkering with everything and just getting to grips with, you know, kind of all these dials and all these functions and stuff, because there seems to be quite a lot to get to grips with. It's one of the cool things about Fuji. I love all these like little actual hand dials on top. You know, everything is kind of at your fingertips. If I want to change a setting, it's, you know, I can do it with a roll on my thumb. I can change the f-stop, I can change the exposure, I can change my ISO and stuff. You know, I can go through and edit. I can go through and change those on the fly. So as soon as I get to grips with this a little bit more, it should enable me to do things a lot quicker as well, which is really cool. And the thing as well that I'm quite excited for, this is like just a complete nerd thing, but it has your normal, so it has your normal screen on the back, which just obviously that's your normal viewfinder, but then it's also got a I'm not sure you guys will see it, but it's actually got an electronic viewfinder in here as well. So when it detects that you put your eye or your face up to it, it's actually got a little LCD screen in here as well, which is an electronic viewfinder, which at first, when I initially used it on I think it was the Fujifilm X-T30, I was like, I don't know if I like this, because it's like, I was used to looking through, you know, like a preview of the the shutter, whereas this was is all done electronically, and I was like, I don't know if I like that, but it's really good. And one of the cool things that this camera has is when you're using the electronic shutter, it can shoot at 30 frames a second, which when you're doing your kind of your figure shots, which is the stuff that I tend to do anyway, which is this style of stuff, when you're shooting an effect, it means that I'll be shooting this effect 30 times in a second. So it's not a video, it's just a burst of you holding down the shutter, and it just takes 30 images of that one effect. So it means I'll be able to scrub through a lot more of the effect, and kind of that should hopefully elevate some of my figure stuff, is my thinking. That's the plan, at least. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just an idiot who is excited to get trying out his new equipment. So that's kind of it. That's me done. This kind of turned into more of a toy photography thing than me necessarily nerding about the X-T30. However, I'm in love. It's absolutely fantastic. So for those of you that are interested, they call it the Little Giant, and it's called the Little Giant because it is the smaller brother of the X-T3, which is Fujifilm's like big boy camera, but this is still using what they call the X-Trans. It's the CMOS 4 sensor. It's a 26 megapixel camera. The LCD monitor on the back is 3 inches. It goes up to an ISO sensitivity of 51,200, I believe, is what it will do in terms of ISO, and then this is like their 4th gen one of their 4th gen cameras. So it's small, it's compact. As you can see, me with large XL hands, my hands are huge, so it looks even smaller in my hands, but it's quite a small package. What else can I show you? Just all the usual camera shebang, really. It's got a screen here on the bottom that will flip out. It will also flip out to the side, so if you're doing like stuff on the side, you can kind of see what you're doing. It's a nice little screen on it, much better than the one that is on this camera. The only thing that this one doesn't do that my old camera does, which is the one that you're watching this video on right now, is that the screen on this will flip up, so I can actually look at you guys here and also see myself on top of the camera, so I can talk directly to you while getting a preview of my shit self above, as opposed to always having to look at OBS like this. However, it is a bit of a habit that I still look at OBS, so I'm sorry. I am actually talking to you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Pretty much it. I'm waffling. I'm absolutely waffling. And now I'm done. I'm off. So I don't know what the weekend plans are. I don't know what the stream plans are. There's some cool and interesting stuff that's going on over the course of the next few weeks. We are not quite announcing it yet, but there's me and a couple of other people that are getting together and doing some charity stuff that should be really cool. So there's some stream stuff coming. There's some Instagram-y stuff coming. There's a load of goodness. So that should be pretty cool. And what else? Game streams probably over the weekend. It's spooky season. It's absolutely spooky season. So I imagine playing all of the horror games that I can possibly get my hands on is about the plan for everything. So that's me. That's me done. I think me and my buddy are going to say goodbye. So Halloween has definitely started. Just saying. I'm out. I'm out of it. I'm absolutely out of it. I'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. Might stream tomorrow night. Maybe. See how I feel. See what we can play. We'll find some sort of horror game or something. Spooky season. We'll see. It all depends on who I can convince to do things with me. If I can find people to you know, like play things, then we'll play things. If not, we'll see. I'm a creature of I'm a social creature. Did you not know this? I'm not a hermit, really. No, we'll see. I'm going to see if I can convince people to play some horror games or something tomorrow night. Maybe some Dead by Daylight, something. And if I can, then I will jump on stream and I will let you guys know. Otherwise, it'll probably be like Saturday or Sunday. God knows what. I'm done. I'm out. I'm waffling as normal. So I'm going to hit this button over here, right? I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit my my exit music. Yeah. You know, when this music plays, you know it's time to go home. The plan is, right, I'm going to get this song so ingrained in your memory that when you hear it, it reminds you when they play that last song at the club to tell everyone to get out. You know, like when they play like Celine Dion in the club and you're like, oh yeah, it's the last song, it's time to leave. That's what this song is, okay? So when I start playing the song, it's time to go. It's time to get out. Get out my house, okay? That's what that means. So, with that in mind, I'm out. See you later. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you all. ASMR ending. Because I love you guys. Prima data. Diolch yn fawr. Diolch yn fawr am cymryd amser gyda fi heno yma. Iawn. Dos adra. Get out of my house. Thanks. Thanks. Get out of my house. It's time to go. The club's closing. Okay, bye.
Half the people die while the rest of us are splitting hairs. It's a good world. Good world gone bad.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for checking out my toy photography and checking out my new camera. Thanks, guys.